The asteroid belt was cold and dark. Kang Day had been working there for 3 years now. His small mining ship moved slowly between the rocks. He was looking for valuable crystals. That was his job. Find crystals, cut them out, sell them to the company. It was boring work, but it paid well. Day was 30 years old. He had short black hair and tired eyes. Space mining was lonely. Sometimes he would go weeks without talking to another person. Just him, his ship, and the endless rocks floating in the darkness. Today felt different, though. His scanner was acting strange. The readings kept jumping around. Day frowned at the screen. He had found something big. The crystal formation ahead was massive, bigger than his whole ship. It glowed with a soft light that made his eyes hurt if he looked too long. Day moved his ship closer. He put on his spacesuit and checked the air supply. 4 hours. That should be enough time. He grabbed his plasma cutter and opened the airlock. The cold of space hit him immediately, even through his suit. The crystal was beautiful up close. It had layers of different colors. Blue, green, purple, white, all swirling together like frozen water. Day had never seen anything like it. He raised his cutter and started working. The tool hummed as it sliced through the mineral. Chunks of crystal floated away into space. That was when he saw it. Deep inside the crystal, something was moving. Day stopped cutting. He leaned closer to look. His helmet light reflected off the crystal surface. There was definitely something in there. Something alive. No, that was impossible. These asteroids were dead. Nothing could live out here in the cold vacuum of space. But his eyes were not lying. There was a creature inside the crystal. It had scales that caught the light. It had wings folded against its body. It had a long neck and a small head. It looked like a dragon. Day had seen pictures of dragons in old Earth stories. He made a decision. He could not leave it here. Even if it was already dead, it deserved better than being trapped forever. Day started cutting again. This time he was very careful. He did not want to hurt the creature. Layer by layer, he removed the crystal. His hands were shaking. Sweat ran down his face inside his helmet. The dragon was small, maybe the size of his arm from elbow to hand. Its scales were red and gold, beautiful colors that seemed to glow from within. Finally, the last piece of crystal fell away. Day held the dragon in his gloved hands. It was heavier than he expected. He could feel warmth through his gloves. The sensors in his suit confirmed it. The dragon was warm. But how could it be alive after being frozen in crystal? Then its chest moved. The dragon was breathing. Day almost dropped it in shock. The creature's eyes opened slowly. They were bright yellow, with black slits down the middle, like a cat's eyes, but more intelligent. Much more intelligent. The dragon looked at him, really looked at him, like it understood what he was. The dragon made a sound. Day could not hear it through the vacuum, but he felt the vibration through his gloves. It was trying to communicate. The dragon stretched its wings. They were thin and delicate, like paper, but they moved with strength. Day carefully brought the dragon back to his ship. He went through the airlock and took off his helmet. The dragon was still in his hands. It chirped at him. The sound was high and sweet, like a bird, but different. The dragon seemed happy. It climbed up his arm and sat on his shoulder. "What are you?" Day whispered. "Where did you come from?" The dragon tilted its head. Its yellow eyes studied his face. Then it rubbed its head against his cheek. The gesture was so trusting, so innocent. Day felt his heart melt. Whatever this creature was, it was just a baby. That was when all the alarms started screaming. Day ran to the control panel. Every sensor he had was going crazy. Something huge had just appeared in the asteroid belt. Something bigger than anything he had ever seen. The computer was trying to calculate the size but kept giving error messages. The ship was too big to measure. Day looked out the window. His mouth fell open. The ship was enormous. It stretched across space like a floating city. The hull was dark, purple, and seemed to be moving, like it was alive. Strange arms extended from the sides. At the front was a symbol that glowed with red light. A dragon wrapped around a star. Fear gripped Day's chest. What had he done? What had he found? Then a voice spoke. It did not come from his radio. It came from inside his head. The voice was deep and powerful. It spoke Korean, which was strange. How did they know his language? Human. You hold something that belongs to us. Day looked down at the baby dragon on his shoulder. It was purring now. A soft, rumbling sound that he could feel through his bones. I did not steal it, Day said out loud. I found it in the crystal. It was dying. We know, the voice said. It sounded less angry now. You saved our child. For that, we thank you. You will not be harmed. Prepare yourself. We are bringing you aboard. Wait, Day shouted. I don't understand. What is happening? But there was no answer. A beam of golden light surrounded his ship. Day felt nothing. No movement. No sound. But suddenly he was somewhere else. His small mining ship was inside a hangar so huge he could not see the walls. The ceiling was lost in darkness above. The airlock on his ship opened by itself. Day did not touch any controls. He looked at the dragon on his shoulder. It chirped encouragingly. I guess we are doing this, Day said. He walked to the airlock. 3 figures were waiting outside. 2 were tall warriors in armor that looked like it was made from dragon scales. Their helmets covered their faces. Between them stood a man. The man was tall and thin. He wore robes that moved like water. His face was hard to describe. It kept changing. Sometimes he looked Korean, sometimes European, sometimes like nothing Day had ever seen, but his eyes stayed the same. They were yellow with black slits, just like the baby dragon. I am Taeyang, the man said. His voice was the same one Day had heard in his head. I am the Emperor of the Yongjae Dominion. I am the guardian of the celestial flame. And I am the father of the child you rescued. Day watched in shock as the baby dragon jumped from his shoulder. It flew through the air toward the Emperor. As it flew, it grew. By the time it reached Taeyang, it was as big as a large dog. The Emperor caught his child and held it close. For a moment, the powerful ruler looked like any father reunited with a lost child. How long was it in there? Day asked. Taeyang looked at him. 3,000 years. We searched everywhere. We thought she was dead. The crystal saved her life. It kept her frozen in time. And you freed her. The dragon, the princess, looked back at Day. She pulled away from her father and ran back to the human. She circled his legs and purred. Taeyang smiled, but it was a sad smile. My daughter has chosen you. This changes everything. The room where Taeyang brought Day was unlike anything he had ever seen. The walls were made of silver metal that moved like water. Images of stars and planets floated in the air. The ceiling showed open space, but somehow the room had air to breathe. Day could see nebulae and galaxies above his head. Strange beings moved around the room. Some looked almost human. Others were completely alien. They all served the Emperor with quiet efficiency. Day sat on a chair that had grown from the floor when Taeyang waved his hand. The dragon princess, Mireille, sat at Day's feet. She had shrunk back down to the size of a cat. Her tail was wrapped around his ankle. You must understand something, Taeyang said. He poured a glowing liquid into 2 crystal cups. You cannot go back to your normal life. Not now. Day felt his stomach drop. Am I a prisoner? No, the Emperor said firmly. But you are now known to us. More importantly, you are known to our enemies. The Vrask Collective destroyed my daughter's ship 3,000 years ago. They wanted to kill my bloodline. They wanted to end my family. Why? Day asked. I am nobody. Just a miner. Because you saved her, Taeyang explained. He slid one of the cups across the table. The Vrask will want to punish you for that. They will destroy everything you love. Your home, your family, your friends. They will kill them all. Just to send me a message. Day thought of his sister, Yuna. She lived on Mars with her husband and 2 children. She had a good life. A safe life. The thought of them being hurt because of him made Day feel sick. What can I do? He asked. Taeyang sat down across from him. I offer you 3 choices. Think carefully about each one. The Emperor held up one finger. First choice. I can make you forget. We have technology that can remove memories. You will not remember finding Mireille. You will not remember this ship or meeting me. You will wake up back in your mining vessel. We will move you to a different colony far away, where the Vrask cannot find you easily. You will live a normal life. Day looked at Mireille. The little dragon made a sad sound, like she understood what her father was saying. Taeyang held up a second finger. Second choice. You accept our protection. We bring your family here. Your sister, her husband, their children, anyone you care about. They will live on one of our worlds. You will be safe, comfortable, and well cared for. But you can never return to human space. You will be cut off from your people forever. That is exile, Day said quietly. Yes, Taeyang agreed. But you would be alive. Your loved ones would be safe. Day took a drink from the crystal cup. The liquid tasted like stars and cinnamon. It was warm and sweet. It made him feel stronger somehow. He set the cup down and looked at the Emperor. And the third choice? Taeyang's eyes gleamed. The third choice is dangerous. But it could also be wonderful. You join the Dominion officially. You train with us. You learn our ways, our technology, our culture. My daughter has bonded with you. This is rare, but it is not impossible. You could become her guardian, her champion. A human working for dragons, Day said. My people would hate me. They would call me a traitor. Some would, Taeyang admitted. But others would see you differently. They would see you as a pioneer, someone brave enough to make friends with aliens. Humanity is alone in the stars right now. You do not know how many other races are out there, how many empires and kingdoms and federations exist. First contact is coming. Kang Day. The only question is whether it happens on humanity's terms or someone else's. Day was quiet for a long moment. Mireille climbed into his lap. She looked up at him with those intelligent yellow eyes. She chirped softly, encouragingly. How long do I have to decide? Day asked. As long as you need, Taeyang said. Then his expression became grave. But I must warn you. The Vrask are already analyzing this system. They will have detected the energy from our jump into this sector. They will know we came here. They will send ships to investigate. I estimate you have 3 of your days, maybe 4. Day felt cold despite the warm room. 3 days. Yes. And when they come, they will not be gentle. They will scan every ship, every station, every colony in this system. They will look for any trace of Mireille. If they find evidence that she was here, they will destroy everything. Just to be certain. You are saying my people are in danger right now, Day said. Because I saved your daughter. Taeyang did not look away. Yes. I am sorry. But this is the truth. The Vrask are ruthless. They do not value life the way we do. Day stood up. Mireille jumped to his shoulder, balancing easily. I need to talk to my sister. If I am going to make this choice, she deserves to know why. Of course, Taeyang said. He gestured to one of his servants. We have communication systems that are completely secure. The Vrask cannot intercept them. Speak with your family. Then, decide what you want to do. A servant led Day to a smaller room. It had a communication console that looked far more advanced than anything humans had built. The servant showed him how to use it, and then left him alone. Day sat down and called his sister. Yuna's face appeared on the screen after a few seconds. She was in her apartment on Mars. Behind her, Day could see her husband Do-yun cooking dinner. Their daughter Sora was playing with blocks on the floor. Baby Jiwon was in a carrier on Do-yun's chest. Day, Yuna said happily. This is a surprise. You usually only call on Sundays. Is everything okay? Day tried to smile. Not exactly. Yuna, I need to tell you something. It is going to sound crazy. His sister's expression changed. She knew him well enough to know when something was serious. What happened? I found something in the asteroid belt. A dragon. A real dragon. But it is also an alien princess. And now her father, who is an emperor of a huge alien empire, wants me to work for him. But there are bad aliens who might come after you because of me. And I have to decide what to do in the next 3 days. Yuna stared at him. Then she laughed. Day, you once called me from Europa saying you found intelligent ice worms. This is just like you. But bigger. Despite everything, Day smiled. I believe you, she said. Her smile faded. If you do this, what happens to us? They will protect you. Move you somewhere safe. But you would have to leave Mars. Leave your home. Your friends. Everything. Yuna looked back at her family. Do-yun had noticed she was on a call and waved. Sora was laughing at something. Ji-won was sleeping peacefully. She turned back to the screen. And if you do not do this, then they erase my memory. Move me to a different colony. You stay where you are. But the bad aliens might still investigate. They might find connections to me. There is no guarantee you would be safe. So you have already decided, Yuna said softly. You just want my permission. Play. I do not want to ruin your life. Day. His sister leaned close to the camera. When Mom and Dad died, you gave up your scholarship. You went to work in the mines so I could finish school. You sent money every month so Do-yun and I could buy this apartment. You have been taking care of me. Your whole adult life. Oh, that was different. It was not, Yuna said firmly. For once, big brother, do something for yourself. If this adventure is calling to you, then go. We will be fine. Mireille suddenly raised her head. Her scales turned darker. She made a warning sound. Day? Yuna's image flickered. What is wrong? Alarms started blaring. The door burst open and a guard rushed in. He spoke rapidly in a language Day did not know. But somehow, he understood it anyway. The Emperor must have given him a translator. Vrask ships detected. They are jumping into the system. Multiple signatures. They are attacking the mining colony. Day's blood turned to ice. Yuna, you need to evacuate. Right now. Get off Mars. But the transmission was breaking up. The screen showed Yuna's apartment shaking. Do-yun grabbed the children. Yuna was shouting something, but Day could not hear her. Then the connection died completely. Taeyang entered the room. He was wearing armor now, instead of robes. The armor looked like it was made from living dragon scales. It shifted colors as he moved. The Vrask are more aggressive than I thought, the Emperor said. They are not investigating. They are making a statement. They are attacking your people. 1. Day stood up. His hands were shaking. My sister, my people. They are dying. Yes, Taeyang said simply. And now you must choose. Kang Day, join us and help save them. Or take the memory wipe and forget this ever happened. But choose now. Through a window, Day could see the battle starting. The mining colony's defense guns were firing at insect-like ships. The Vrask vessels were cutting through the defenses easily. People were dying. Day thought of Hajun, who ran the colony's defenses. He thought of the miners he worked with. He thought of his sister, somewhere on Mars. He thought of the little dragon on his shoulder who had chosen him for reasons he did not understand. "Tell me what to do," Day said. Taeyong's smile was fierce. "First, you bond with Mireille officially. Then we show the Vrask why attacking a Dominion world was a terrible mistake." "This is not a Dominion world," Day said. "It is now," Taeyong replied. "I claim this system under my protection. Will your people accept?" Day looked at the battle outside. "If you save them, they will accept anything. Then let us begin." Taeyong led Day to the center of a massive chamber. The floor glowed with symbols that Day had never seen before. They looked ancient and powerful. Strange lights floated in the air around them. Mireille flew from Day's shoulder and landed in front of him. She had grown again, now the size of a large dog. "This will hurt," Taeyong warned. "Your body is not made for this. Humans are not designed to bond with dragons. But Mireille has chosen you, and that choice is sacred. The bonding will change you. Your DNA will alter. Your cells will transform. You will become something new, something between human and dragon." Day felt fear grip his heart. "Will I still be me?" "Yes," the Emperor said. "Your mind will stay the same. Your memories, your personality, your soul. All of that remains. But your body will be stronger. Your senses will be sharper. You will share a connection with Mireille that goes beyond words. You will feel what she feels, know what she knows, and she will understand you in the same way. And if something goes wrong," Taeyong's expression was serious, "then you die. I will not lie to you. The bonding kills most humans who attempt it. Maybe 9 out of 10. But Mireille believes you are strong enough, and I trust my daughter's judgment." Day looked at the little dragon. She chirped at him. The sound was encouraging, loving. She rubbed her head against his leg. Despite his fear, Day felt calm. If this was his path, then he would walk it. "I am ready," he said. Taeyong placed one hand on Day's shoulder. The other hand touched Mireille's head. The pain started immediately. It felt like fire was pouring through Day's veins. He screamed. His whole body burned from the inside out. He fell to his knees. Taeyong's hand kept him from collapsing completely. The Emperor was chanting in a language that sounded older than time itself. Through the pain, Day felt Mireille enter his mind. Her consciousness touched his own. He saw through her eyes suddenly. He saw himself kneeling on the glowing floor, face twisted in agony. He felt her worry, her fear that she had hurt him, her desperate hope that he would survive. Then he saw her memories. He watched her flying through space as a young dragon, happy and free. He felt her terror when enemy ships attacked, the explosion that destroyed her vessel, the desperate jump into the crystal formation, using the last of her magic to freeze herself in time, the cold darkness that lasted 3,000 years, the slow acceptance of death. Then a new memory, a light cutting through the crystal, a face looking in at her, kind eyes behind a helmet, gentle hands freeing her from her prison, the overwhelming joy of being alive again, and the instant recognition that this human, this stranger, was meant to be hers. Day gasped. He understood now. Mireille had not chosen him randomly. She had felt something in him, some quality that called to her, a kindness, a courage, a willingness to help even when it was dangerous. The pain shifted. His body was changing. Day looked at his hands and watched in horror and wonder as his skin rippled. Scales appeared and disappeared under the surface, golden scales like Mireille's. His bones ached as they became denser, stronger. His muscles tore and rebuilt themselves. His eyes burned as they changed, becoming sharper, able to see more colors, more details. "Accept it," Taeyong commanded. "Do not fight the change. Let it happen." Day tried to relax. He let the transformation wash over him. His hearing exploded outward. He could hear the battle happening thousands of kilometers away. The screams of weapons fire, the explosions of ships dying, the cries of his people trapped in the colony. He could smell things that should be impossible to smell in space. Ozone from plasma burns, the metallic scent of blood, the fierce sweat of terrified humans. He could taste the electricity in the air, the tang of the Emperor's magic, the sweet flavor of Mirai's presence in his mind. And then, it was over. Day collapsed on the floor, gasping for breath. His whole body was shaking. Sweat poured off him, but the pain was gone. In its place was a feeling of strength unlike anything he had ever known. Taeyang helped him stand. "Look at yourself." Day raised his hands. They looked normal at first, but when he concentrated, golden scales rippled across his skin like armor. They covered his hands, his arms, spreading across his body. Then they faded away, leaving him looking human again. "The scales appear when you need them," Taeyang explained. "For protection or for show. You control them with your thoughts. Your bones are now as strong as our metal alloys. Your muscles can lift 5 times what they could before. Your senses are enhanced. You can see in the dark, hear across great distances. You will heal from wounds that would kill normal humans." Day flexed his fingers. He felt powerful, dangerous, but also more alive than ever before. Mirai launched herself at him. She had grown again during the bonding. Now she was the size of a horse, but her weight did not knock him over. Day caught her easily, his new strength making it simple. She licked his face and purred like thunder. "The bond is complete," Taeyang announced to the assembled court. Other aliens had gathered to watch the ceremony. "Kang Day, human of Earth, you are now recognized as guardian to Princess Mirai. You are a champion of the Dominion. You hold rank in our empire. Your first duty is to protect those who cannot protect themselves." The floor beneath Day's feet began to change. Liquid metal flowed up his body, forming armor. It was lightweight, but incredibly strong. The armor was covered in patterns that looked like dragon scales. It fit him perfectly, moving with his body like a second skin. A helmet formed last, settling over his head. Instantly, tactical displays appeared in his vision. He could see the positions of every ship in the battle, friend and enemy, all marked clearly. "The Vrask have 50 ships," Taeyang said. A holographic display appeared showing the battle. "They think their numbers will win before we can respond. They are wrong." 50 ships against 1? Day asked. His voice sounded strange through the helmet. Deeper, stronger. "Against 2, the Emperor corrected. "You and I will handle the fleet. My other forces will evacuate the civilians and set up defenses." "I do not know how to fight," Day protested. "I am a miner, not a soldier." "Mirai knows," Taeyang said. He gestured, and his own dragon appeared. It was massive and ancient. Its scales were black like space itself, covered in points of light that looked like stars. "Trust the bond. Trust your dragon. Let her instincts guide you." Day looked at Mirai. She lowered her head, inviting him to climb on her back. He did, finding that his armor connected perfectly with her scales. He could feel her heartbeat, feel her excitement. She had been trapped for 3,000 years. Now she was finally going to fly again, to fight again. The hangar doors opened. Space yawned before them. Mirai roared. The sound was felt rather than heard in the vacuum. Day felt it in his chest, in his bones. Then they launched. The acceleration should have killed him, but his enhanced body handled it easily. They shot out of the Dominion ship like a missile. The battlefield opened up around them. Day's helmet displays tracked everything. The Vrask ships were ugly things. They looked like flying insects, all angles and chitinous armor. They were systematically destroying the mining colony's defenses. "They are hurting the civilians," Day realized. His enhanced mind processed the tactical situation instantly. driving them toward that asteroid cluster. It is a trap. He felt Mireille's agreement through their bond. She dove toward the nearest Vrask ship. Day raised his arm instinctively. Energy gathered there. Not from technology. From something deeper. From the bond. From Mireille herself. He released it. A bolt of golden fire struck the Vrask ship's engines. The ship spun out of control, atmosphere venting into space. Disabled, but not destroyed. "We are not murderers," Taeyang's voice came through Day's helmet. "Disable their ships. Give them the chance to retreat. We fight with honor." Across the battlefield, Taeyang was devastating. His dragon was a force of nature. Each beat of its massive wings sent shockwaves through space. Beams of pure stellar fire lanced from its mouth, cutting through Vrask ships with surgical precision. Shields failed. Weapons melted. Engines exploded. But Day and Mireille had their own advantages. They were small and fast. Mireille twisted through space with incredible agility. She dodged weapons fire that should have been impossible to avoid. Day found himself moving in perfect sync with her. His enhanced reflexes let him track multiple targets at once. He fired again and again. Each shot carefully aimed to disable rather than kill. They destroyed weapon banks. They melted engine cores. They shattered shield generators. The Vrask formation began to fall apart. Then the civilian ships caught in the trap started exploding. "No!" Day shouted. He felt Mireille's anguish matching his own. They dove toward the asteroid cluster, where Vrask fighters were picking off defenseless mining vessels. Day recognized one of them. Alda Sinti, Alferd, the transport ship Times, New Dawn **. Hajun commanded that ship. 100 people were on board. The Times New Dawn Times was venting atmosphere. 3 hull breaches. It would not last long. Mireille understood without words. She positioned herself between the transport and the attacking fighters. Day channeled everything he had into a shield. Golden energy exploded outward from them, forming a barrier. Vrask weapons fire struck the shield and dispersed harmlessly. Run. More Dominion ships were arriving now. Smaller vessels, each one carrying rescue teams. They began scooping up the civilian ships, protecting them with advanced shields. The humans who had been minutes from death were suddenly safe. The Vrask fleet commander must have decided the fight was lost. The remaining ships began jumping out of the system. They left their disabled companions behind, abandoning them. In the sudden silence, Day became aware that he was shaking. The adrenaline was fading. He felt exhausted. His new body was strong, but he had pushed it to its limits. Mireille's mental touch was gentle. She guided them back to the flagship. Taeyang was already there, directing rescue operations. As they landed, Day's personal communicator chimed. His sister's face appeared. "Day." Yuna's voice was shaky but alive. A dragon ship appeared over Mars. "They said they were protecting us." "What did you do?" Day laughed. He was nearly crying with relief. "I made some new friends, little sister. Very powerful friends. The medical bay of the Dominion flagship was unlike any hospital Day had ever seen. The wounded were laid on beds that seemed to float in the air. Strange machines moved around them, healing injuries with beams of colored light. Doctors who looked nothing like humans worked alongside robots and beings made of pure energy. Day walked through the rows of injured people. Most were from the mining colony. Miners he had worked with. People he had shared meals with. His armor had retracted, but they could still see the faint shimmer of scales beneath his skin. They knew he was different now. Hajun was sitting on one of the floating beds. The defense coordinator had a bandage wrapped around his head and his left arm was in a cast. But he was alive. When he saw Day, his expression was hard to read. Surprise, confusion, maybe a little fear. "Kang," Hajun said quietly. "What happened to you?" Day sat down on the bed next to him. Mireille curled up at his feet. She was back to the size of a large cat again. I made a choice. The Emperor offered me a way to save our people. I took it. You bonded with that dragon, Hajun said. It was not a question. You joined them. Yes. Are you still human? Day thought about that. He looked at his hands. They looked normal. But he could feel the power coiled inside them. The strength. The connection to Mireille that pulsed like a second heartbeat. I do not know anymore. Maybe I am something new. Hajun was quiet for a moment. Then he reached out with his good hand and gripped Day's shoulder. You saved us. All of us. I watched you out there. Fighting those ships. If you had not come when you did, we would all be dead. So whatever you are now, I am grateful. Other miners were gathering around. Some looked scared. Others looked curious. One woman, Park Hajin, stepped forward. She was one of the oldest miners in the colony. She had been working the asteroids for 20 years. Is it true what they are saying? She asked. That the Emperor has claimed this system? That we are under dragon protection now? Day nodded. Yes. Taeyang declared this system part of the Dominion. Any attack on you is an attack on him. What does that mean for us? Another miner asked. Do we have to leave? Do we serve them now? I do not know all the details yet, Day admitted. But Taeyang is not cruel. He will not enslave you. I think he genuinely wants to help. Why? Hajin asked. What does a dragon emperor want with a human mining colony? Before Day could answer, Taeyang himself entered the medical bay. The emperor had removed his armor and wore simple robes again. But his presence still commanded attention. Everyone in the room fell silent. Some bowed. Others just stared. I want nothing from you, Taeyang said, answering Hejin's question directly. Except, perhaps, friendship. The Vrask attacked you to hurt me. They wanted to show that anyone who helps my family will suffer. But I will not let that stand. You are under my protection now. Any who threaten you, threaten the Dominion itself. And what do you want in return? Hajin pressed. She was brave. Day had to give her that. Knowledge. Taeyang said simply. Understanding. Humanity is new to the greater galaxy. You do not know the dangers that exist out here. The empires, the wars, the ancient hatreds. I want to help guide you through it. To make sure your species survives and thrives. That sounds like you want to control us, another miner muttered. Taeyang's expression did not change. I understand your fear, but consider this. The Vrask found you in less than 3 days. They attacked without warning, without mercy. And they are not the worst threat in this galaxy. There are races that would enslave your entire species. Empires that would harvest your planets for resources and leave nothing behind. Ancient machines that kill any organic life they encounter. The universe is dangerous. I offer you a shield. But shields can also be cages, Hajun said softly. The Emperor smiled. True. Which is why I will not force this on you. Each of you can choose. Stay here under my protection, or leave. I will provide ships to take anyone who wishes to return to human space. You will be given memory blockers to prevent the Vrask from extracting information from you. You will be compensated for your losses. And you will be free to go. The miners looked at each other. Day could see them struggling with the decision. Safety versus freedom. Protection versus independence. What about our families? Someone asked. Back on Mars? Earth? The other colonies? They are being contacted as we speak, Taeyang said. Dominion ships have been dispatched to major human settlements. We are offering the same choice to everyone. Protection, if they want it. Safe passage, if they do not. You are changing everything, Hajin said. First contact was supposed to happen on our terms. Slowly, carefully. Now you are forcing it. The Vrask forced it, Taeyang corrected gently. By attacking you. By bringing war to your doorstep. I am simply responding to events. But you are right. Everything is changing. The question is whether humanity will face this change alone or with allies. Day stood up. I know this is hard. I know it is scary. But I have seen what is out there. I have felt the hatred the Vrask have for us, simply because we helped someone they wanted dead. If we face them alone, we will lose. We are too small, too weak. But if we accept help, if we make alliances, we have a chance. You sound like you are on their side, someone accused. I am on humanity's side, Day said firmly. I will always be. But I am also smart enough to know when we need help. And right now, we need help. The next few hours were chaotic. Some miners chose to stay, others chose to leave. Taeyang kept his word. Anyone who wanted to go was given a ship, supplies, and memory blockers. They were transported to human colonies, far from the conflict zone. But more than half chose to stay. They chose protection over freedom, safety over independence. Day could not blame them. They had seen what the Vrask could do. Later, Day stood in an observation room watching repair crews work on the damaged colony. Mireille was on his shoulder, back to her smallest size. Taeyang joined him, standing quietly beside him. Your people are afraid, the Emperor said. Yes, they are facing the unknown. That is always frightening. And what about you? Are you afraid? Day thought about it. Terrified. I have changed into something I do not fully understand. I am part human, part dragon. I have power I never dreamed of, responsibilities I never wanted. But I am also hopeful. Hopeful? Yes, because for the first time, I see a path forward. Not just for me, but for all of humanity. You are offering us a chance to survive in this dangerous galaxy, to make friends, to learn, to grow. That is worth being afraid for. Taeyang smiled. You are wise beyond your years. Kangde, Mireille, chose well. The dragon princess chirped happily at the compliment. What happens now? Day asked. Now you train, Taeyang said. You are bonded, but you do not yet know how to use your abilities fully. You have strength and speed, but you lack skill. You have power, but you lack control. I will assign teachers to you. Masters who will show you the ways of the Dominion. How to fight, how to lead, how to navigate the politics of empire. How long will that take? Years, probably. Maybe decades. But you have time. The bonding extended your life. You will live as long as Mireille does. And dragons live for thousands of years. Day absorbed that information. He would live for thousands of years. He would watch his sister age and die. Watch her children grow old. Watch generations of humanity rise and fall. The thought was both exciting and deeply sad. I will need to visit Yuna, he said. Before training starts. I need to make sure she is safe. That she understands what is happening. Where. Of course, Taeyang agreed. We will arrange transport to Mars. You can spend time with your family. Say your goodbyes. Or your see-you-laters. If you prefer. Day nodded. He looked out at the stars, seeing them with new eyes. Enhanced eyes that could pick out details invisible to normal humans. Each star was a sun. Each sun potentially had planets. Each planet potentially had life. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders and dangers. I am ready, Day said. For whatever comes next. Mireille purred in agreement. Taeyang placed a hand on Day's shoulder. Then, let us begin your new life, Guardian. The galaxy awaits. In the distance, more Dominion ships were arriving. They brought supplies, workers, technology. They would rebuild the mining colony, make it stronger, better defended. It would become a fortress, a symbol of the new alliance between dragons and humans. And at the center of it all was Day. Just a simple miner who had found a dragon in a crystal and changed the course of history. He did not feel like a hero. He felt small and uncertain, but he also felt determined. He would protect his people. He would learn everything the Dominion could teach him. He would become strong enough to face whatever threats came. Because that was what guardians did. That was what champions did. That was what family did. And Mireille was family now. The bond had made that clear. She was his dragon. He was her human. They would face the universe together. Day smiled. Whatever came next, at least he would not face it alone. The transport ship that took Day to Mars was beautiful. It was smaller than Taeyang's flagship, but still massive compared to human vessels. The hull was silver, with gold accents. Windows showed the interior gardens where alien plants grew under artificial sunlight. The crew was a mix of different species, all working together with practiced efficiency. Mireille spent most of the journey exploring the ship. She would grow large and fly through the cargo bays, then shrink down to ride on Day's shoulder. She was curious about everything. Every new smell, every new sound, every new person. Day felt her joy through their bond, and it made him smile despite his nervousness. He was going to see Yuna, his sister who had raised him after their parents died. His sister who had always supported him, even when he made questionable choices. What would she think of him now? Would she recognize the brother she knew, or would she only see the monster he had become? No, not a monster. Something different. Something new. The ship arrived at Mars 3 days after the battle. Day stood at the observation window and looked down at the red planet. Dome cities dotted the surface, glowing like jewels against the rust-colored desert. Millions of humans lived down there, completely unaware of how close they had come to destruction. Taeyang had been true to his word. Dominion ships now orbited Mars, Earth, and a dozen other major colonies. They maintained a respectful distance, not interfering with human activities, but their presence was clear. Anyone who attacked humanity would face the dragons. A shuttle took Day down to the surface. He wore simple clothes now, not his armor, but he could still feel the power coiled inside him, the scales beneath his skin, the connection to Mireille, who rode on his shoulder in her smallest form. Yuna was waiting at the landing pad. She stood with her husband Doyun and their 2 children. Sora was 6 years old, holding her father's hand and staring at the alien shuttle with wide eyes. Baby Jiwon was in a carrier on Yuna's chest, sleeping peacefully. The shuttle doors opened. Day stepped out, and for a moment, no one moved. Then Yuna ran to him. She threw her arms around him and held tight. Day hugged her back, careful not to squeeze too hard with his enhanced strength. "You are alive," Yuna whispered. "I was so worried. The news is full of reports about aliens and dragons and battles. I did not know if you were safe." "I am safe," Day assured her. "Better than safe. I am strong now. Protected." Yuna pulled back and looked at him, really looked at him. Her eyes widened as she noticed the subtle changes. The way his skin seemed to shimmer slightly in the light. The way his eyes reflected gold when the sun hit them just right. The dragon sitting calmly on his shoulder, watching her with intelligent eyes. "You really did it," she said softly. "You bonded with her." "Yes." Day reached up and stroked Mireille's head. The dragon purred. "Yuna, this is Princess Mireille. Mireille, this is my sister Yuna, the most important person in my life." Mireille chirped and flew from Day's shoulder to Yuna's. She gently rubbed her head against Yuna's cheek. "She likes me," Yuna said. "She can feel how much I love you," Day explained. "Through our bond. She knows you are family." Doyun approached cautiously. He was a quiet man, an engineer who worked on the dome maintenance systems. He had always been kind to Day, treating him like a real brother. Now he looked uncertain, maybe a little afraid. "It is good to see you, Day," Doyun said. He did not offer a handshake. Day did not blame him. Little Sora was braver. She walked right up to Day and looked up at him. "Uncle Day, are you a dragon now?" Day laughed and knelt down to her level. "Not quite. But I am part dragon. I am bonded to Mirai. She shares her power with me. 2. Can you fly? Only if I am riding on Mirai's back. That is so cool. Sora bounced excitedly. Can I see her grow big? Day looked at Mirai. The dragon understood and jumped down to the ground. She expanded, growing to the size of a pony. Sora squealed with joy and ran her hands over the golden scales. Mirai seemed to enjoy the attention, making happy chirping sounds. They went back to Yuna's apartment. It was small, but comfortable. 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living area with windows overlooking the dome gardens. Day had helped pay for this place. He remembered the day Yuna sent him pictures of it, so excited to have a real home for her family. Over dinner, Day told them everything. The discovery in the asteroid field, meeting Taeyang, the choice he faced, the bonding ceremony, the battle with the Vrask. He held nothing back. Yuna deserved to know the truth. So you will live for thousands of years, Yuna said when he finished. Her voice was quiet. You will watch me grow old and die. You will watch Sora and Jiwan grow up, have children, grow old, and die. You will see generations pass. Yes, Day said. I am sorry. Do not apologize. Yuna said firmly. You did what you had to do. You saved lives. You made an alliance that could protect all of humanity. I am proud of you. But I will lose you, Day said. His voice broke slightly. Yuna reached across the table and took his hand. You will not lose me. Not really. I will always be in your memories. And you will carry me with you, no matter how many years pass. That is what family does. Doyun cleared his throat. What happens now? To us, I mean. Are we in danger? No, Day said. The Dominion has ships protecting Mars and all the major colonies. The Vrask will not attack you. Taeyang has made it clear that humanity is under his protection. And what does he want in return? Friendship. Alliance. He wants humanity to join the greater galactic community as partners, not servants. Do our governments know about this? Doyun asked. They are being informed now, Day said. Dominion ambassadors are making contact with Earth's governments, the Mars Council, the Colony Federation. It is going to be messy. Some people will welcome the dragons, others will see them as invaders. There will be protests, debates, probably violence. What side are you on? Yuna asked. Humanity's side, Day said without hesitation. I always will be. But I am also on the side of survival. And survival means accepting help when it is offered. The galaxy is dangerous. The Vrask are just one threat among many. If we face it alone, we will not make it. They talked late into the night. Sora fell asleep on the couch, curled up with Mirai, who had shrunk back down to cat size. Jiwan slept in his crib, unaware of the massive changes happening in the world around him. Eventually, Doyun excused himself to put Sora to bed. Yuna and Day sat together in the living room, just the two of them, like when they were children. Do you remember when Mom and Dad died? Yuna asked suddenly. Day nodded. Every day. You were only 19. I was 15. You could have left me with relatives and gone to university like you planned. But you did not. You stayed and raised me. You worked terrible jobs so I could finish school. You sacrificed everything for me. You are my sister. Day said simply. Family takes care of family, and now you are sacrificing yourself again, Yuna said. You have joined the dragons to protect us, to protect humanity, even though it means living forever, even though it means losing everyone you love over and over again. Day had not thought of it that way. But she was right. This was a sacrifice, a bigger one than he had realized. He would live for thousands of years, but he would do it alone, watching generations of humans be born and die, making friends and losing them, falling in love and watching his partners age while he stayed young. I do not know if I can do it, he admitted. I do not know if I am strong enough. Yuna hugged him. You are the strongest person I know. And you will not be alone. You have Mireille. You have Taeyang and the Dominion. And you will have us. For as long as we are here. It is not enough, Day whispered. A lifetime with you is not enough. I want more. I want to see Sora grow up. I want to meet Jiwon when he is old enough to talk. I want to be at your birthday parties, and holiday dinners, and family gatherings. But I will outlive all of it. Then make the time count, Yuna said. Do not waste the years we have together. Visit as often as you can. Call us. Send messages. Be part of our lives. Even when you are far away. And when we are gone, remember us. Tell our stories to the next generation. Keep us alive, in memory. Day nodded, tears running down his face. Yuna cried too, holding her brother tight. Mireille woke up and flew to Day's shoulder. She nuzzled his cheek, offering comfort through their bond. Day felt her love, her loyalty, her promise to never leave him. It helped. Not much, but a little. He stayed on Mars for a week. He spent every moment with his family. He played with Sora, teaching her about dragons and space. He held Jiwon, feeling the baby's tiny heartbeat against his chest. He helped Doyun fix a broken pipe in the apartment. He cooked dinner with Yuna, laughing at old memories. And when it was time to leave, he held them all close one more time. I will come back, he promised. As often as I can. You will not lose me. I swear. All. Tracted. We know, Yuna said. Go save the world, big brother. We will be here when you get back. The shuttle took him back to the Dominion flagship. Taeyang was waiting for him in the throne room. How was your family? The Emperor asked. Wonderful, Day said. And heartbreaking. But I am glad I went. Good. Now your real training begins. You have power, but you lack skill. You have courage, but you lack discipline. I will make you into a true guardian, a champion worthy of my daughter. Day stood straight. I am ready. Then let us begin. The months that followed were the hardest of Day's life. He trained every day, from dawn until dusk. He learned to fight with weapons, and without them. He learned to control his new abilities, to call the scales at will, to channel dragonfire through his body. He learned strategy and tactics. He studied the history of the Dominion, the politics of the galaxy, the cultures of 100 different species, and through it all, Mireille was with him, growing stronger as he grew stronger, learning as he learned. Their bond deepened until they could communicate without words. A thought, a feeling, and the other would understand. News from human space was mixed. Some governments welcomed the Dominion with open arms. Others rejected it, calling it colonialism in a new form. There were protests and celebrations in equal measure. But, slowly, carefully, humanity was making its first steps into the galactic community. And at the center of it all was Day. A bridge between worlds. A human who bonded with dragons. A guardian who would protect his people for thousands of years. He still missed Yuna. He called her every week, watched Sora and Jiwon grow through video messages. But he had a purpose now. A mission. He would be humanity's champion. Their protector. Their friend in a strange and dangerous galaxy. And when the next threat came, when the next enemy attacked, he would be ready. Because that was what guardians did. That was what family did. They protected those they loved. No matter the cost. Day looked out at the stars and smiled. His journey was just beginning.